الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. Allah Ta'ala has given human beings the blessing of intellect. It is one of the blessings from the blessings of Allah. This is that blessing that makes people different from animals. Animals don't have intellect. Even if they have, it is so little that it is relatively... Do it. Open it. So the intellect thinks. We think through intellect. So whatever will be the passion, the desires in the heart, that would be the thought. If there are good desires, then the good thoughts, and the bad desires, then evil thoughts. So thoughts can be good and bad. It depends on that person as to what is in his heart. 1,000 years ago, our Mashaykh, they told us said that heart controls the intellect. In 2013, in last year, science proved that heart controls the intellect. So now it is proven through the scientific research. The point is that the intellect, the brain has yet not been developed in the body of a child, but the heart beats. So who beats the heart? Because the brain has not yet been developed. So how does the heart beat? So then they started researching and they reached to a conclusion that there is an intellect within the heart. It's called heart brain. So there are neurons in our brain through which the thoughts come in our brain. So the science has proven that human being, that there are 40,000 neurons in the brain, in the brain of the heart. So the brain in the heart is actually controlling the bigger brain. Quran told about this 1400 years ago, that they have hearts but they don't reflect with that. لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ بِهَا. Then when people did not even know about the difference between the heart and the intellect, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us before, Allah ta'ala has created us, He knows. So Quran opened it very clearly that they wish that they had heart through which they could think. Now science has proven that in the heart there is a small little brain, and in that brain actually controls the bigger brain. There are many things that it was difficult to understand in the previous times. Now science has proven that. For example, our Mashayikh, they looked through Kashf, through inner sight, long time ago. In the science, it looked from the material side now. It has been proven that through the brain, the nerves, the wiring, it goes throughout the body. The person, when he moves, that is done through the signal from the brain. This is a wiring that is from the brain. brain. And this wiring is so much that we don't know about that. In the book of medicine it is written, if the nerves are taken out and they are tied to each other, then it can actually move around the earth twice. There's so much wiring in one person that this wire can move around the earth, the globe, twice. Subhanallah. We don't know about that. And one wire is insulated from the other, and there is a bundle going, and every nerve is insulated from the other. There cannot be short circuit. Now there are two parts of the brain. One is right, one is left. The left, all the wiring from the left side, it goes like a rope from the middle of the head to the so from the right side it goes towards the left side of the body. So it controls all the body parts on the left side. So if the paralysis on the left side of the body, the operation is done on the right side of the brain. And if the right side is paralyzed, then the operation is done on the left side of the brain. So all the nerves from the left side, they get bundled in a rope and moves on the right side. So in the middle of the head, these two bundles are together, and it's called Latifa Qalbiya. Our Mashayikh called it Latifa Qalbiya. So they put a finger on the top of the head and they do zikr on Latifa Qalbiya. So this is the junction of the whole body. Mashayikh have seen it through that inner side, through the sight of the kashf. So this is the amazing thing about the brain, that the different parts of the brain control the different parts of the body. For example, the back side of the brain, it controls the eyesight. That's why if a child falls on the back and there is an injury on the back, that he can lose his eyesight. Or if somebody hits a child on the back side of the head, he can lose his eyesight, because the eyesight is connected to the back side of the brain. And the right brain controls left side, left brain controls the right side. Then the new research that the front side of the brain, all the deadly diseases are tied to the front side of the brain, like desires, anger, jealousy, ill feelings, all of these spiritual diseases, lust, that is connected to the front of the brain. Science has proven it now through scans. So if a person has a lot of desires, so which brain send the signals which aggravates that? It is all in the front, anger. So they have come up with the conclusion that the front of the brain is the center. And we have been told 1400 years ago by Shariat that if you want to humble yourself in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the center of your ego is the middle of the brain, and you have to put the center on the ground in sajda. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this hukum of sajda 1400 years ago. Science didn't know that. Now science has proven that all the diseases of people are all tied to the front of the brain. That's why our Mashayikh, they have highlighted the Latifa Nafs in the middle of the brain. If the thoughts are good, then it will find the secrets. If the thoughts are bad or evil, then it will force people to sin. That's why first there is zikr and then it is fikr. So first it is remembrance and then it's reflection. Our Mashayikh have said that the evil of the fikr, of the reflection, is purified through zikr. The evil, the filth of the fikr, of the thought, is removed by zikr. If you want to make your thought good, then you have to do a lot of zikr. So people do a lot of zikr, then the thought becomes good. So it is free from all the evil thoughts. So they have pure thoughts in their head. So they think good. So the evil of the thought is removed by zikr. So some have said that zikr is the key to fikr. If a person has not done zikr and he just thinks, then the reflection, the fikr, will make him reach to a bad decision. There are two types of people. Some people are there are some people who only work on deen and all of their thoughts are used in deen. We call them fuqaha, the jurists. So there is also something called taqween. Some people reflect on that. For example, scientists and doctors and PhDs, they reflect on the taqween. They are taqweeni fuqaha. They are both similar, but the scientists of taqween, so they look at the material things and they reflect on that and they derive law of nature through that. That which physical laws are in this universe. And the people who are the fuqaha of Shariat, they reflect on Quran and Hadith and they come up with the juristic principles and laws or legal rulings that on which laws, which principles Shariat is based on. That's why so if you ask a question from a mathematician, he will give you the answer, and you're surprised. There's so many questions, so how can he give an answer? Because they have the formulas of algebra. So if you even come up with 100,000 questions, they will fit into the principles and they will give you the answer. Just like that, all of the questions of the people, of the human lives, the mufti can give the answer of all of those issues because they also have those principles of Shariat. Whatever masala, the problem that you will bring, they will put that into principles and they'll give you the answer. The common people, they have a doubt. They think that the mufti just come up with fatwas. Mufti does not make a fatwa. Mufti tells you a fatwa. There's two different things. To make a fatwa is something, and to tell a fatwa is different. That's why some people say, oh, muftis make people kafir. They don't make them, they just tell it. Just for example, that there is a pump of water. It just takes out hidden water from the earth. That's the quality of it. So faqih, the jurist, is the example of him is like that water pump. There is answer for everything in Shariat, but for a common man, it is difficult for him to reach there. So he cannot fly that high. His knowledge is not that deep. So he cannot reach that answer. But fuqaha, the jurists, they are expert in Shariat. They reflect and they just take out that answer and give it to people. That's why the fuqaha, the jurists, they are, they have done a lot of favors on us. Fuqaha are those people that Allah Ta'ala have given them that nature of following a Shariat 100%. They know that what Shariat wants from them. So people say that they were very intelligent. It's not only about intelligence. Before intelligence, they know what Shariat wants from us. Allah Ta'ala had given them so much taqwa, so much righteousness, that when they understood that what Shariat wants, then all their thoughts will be according to Shariat. That was the important thing about them. That's why Imam Azam rahmatullah alayhi, he was more intelligent than others, and also he has more taqwa than others. The way that he would pray, nobody used to pray like that in his time. So their habits, everything was according to Shariat, and they knew what Shariat wants from them. That's why their thought would always reach the truth. Imam Azam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, if you look into his life history, you will be amazed that the normal person cannot reach that decision, to that point. Some people were sitting, a snake fell from the floor. It fell on the first person. When he moved his hand, the snake came on the second person. He moved his hand, it came on the third person. The third person, he moved his hand, came on the fourth, and he bit the fourth person, he died. Now the problem was that who has to pay the blood money. So now there is one is intentional killing, there is qisas. But you can, if the person is killed without any intention, there is diyat for that. For example, a person leaves his house to take something, and he gets into an accident and he dies, or he kills somebody. So he went out to get some goods, but he killed somebody. He did not intentionally kill, so there is diyat for that. So who will give the diyat? Somebody said the first person should give the diyat because he was the one who started that. Somebody said the third person because he. The other said that all three should give the diyat. So nobody could understand what is the final point, what is the final ruling. Imam Azam rahmatullah alayhi was asked, he said, it's very easy. So on the first person the snake fell, he tried to save his life, so it came on the second. But it did not bite the second. So the first person is out. That's all what he did. There is no crime on him. Now the second person, to save his life, he threw the snake, it came on the third. And it did not bite the third, so the second is free as well. The third person, he sent it to the fourth. So basically it was 5. So the third is also free. Fourth threw it on the fifth. So fifth died. Now the question is that did the snake bite right after it fell, or it bite later on? If it bit right after it fell, then it will be, the fidya will be on the fourth. But if it bit after some time, then just like all of the first three, they tried to save their life, it was also necessary for the fourth to save his life as well. So then they started thinking, so snake bit after some time, so the fourth was free as well. This was the depth of thinking, this was the depth of their thoughts. So they could reach the depth of it, they could reach the conclusion. Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, you will find hundreds of these sorts of incidents, that how will he be able to reach the depth of the conclusion. So once there was an incident that one person, he prays the first prayer with 4 rakah. In the tahiyyat of the second rakah, he says he should do tashahhud, abduhu wa rasuluhu, and should stand up. And he forgets and he started reciting durood. So he said that if he says Allahumma and he remembers that he has to stand up, then there is nothing, no sajda sahab. If he says Allahumma salli and he stands up, there is no sajda sahab. If he says Allahumma salli ala and he again remembers and he stands up for the third rakah, there is no sajda sahab. But if he recites Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, now he has sajda sahab, because now he's delayed the third rakah. So when Imam Hanifa rahmatullah gave this fatwa, so he saw a dream where he saw the vision of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "No man, have you given this fatwa that whoever will say my name, that he'll have to do sajda sahab?" Have you given this fatwa? That whoever will take my name, that he will have to do sajda sahab? Imam Hanifa rahmatullah said, "Oh beloved of Allah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I have not given this fatwa. The fatwa that I have given is that whoever will take your name with heedlessness, then he will have to do sajda sahab." So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mine. So this is that firasat, that inner side, that depth of understanding that Allah Ta'ala gives to people. So the fuqaha, the jurists, are those people that understood what Shariat wants. And they had righteousness, they had taqwa, that whatever matter would come, and they will know what Shariat wants, and they will reach the truth. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spread their face to all over the world. Initially, there were many imams, many fuqaha, like Sufyan Thawri rahmatullah alayh. There are many others. But with the time, there were 4 people whose work was accepted, and that got spread in the whole world. Some people ask this question, then why 4? Why not more? So the example is that a person has 12 children. 1 dies, 2nd dies, 3rd dies, and the 4 remain, and inheritance will be distributed only in 4. Just like that, there were more fuqaha, the more jurists, but with the passage of time, they died. So only 4 remained, and Allah Ta'ala accepted it so much that, it got spread in the whole world. So people, they followed their madhab in the whole world. So there are different ranks of fuqaha. It is called, there are 7 ranks of fuqaha. Number 1, Imam Azam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayh. He is called Mujtahid fi Shara'. What does it mean? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him that knowledge, that he derived the usul, the principles from Shariat. He wrote the principles. So he is called Mujtahid fi Shara'. Then his students, they were with him in principles, in usul, but they differed in a few rulings. They're called Mujtahid fil Madhab, like Imam Abu Yusuf rahmatullah alayh, Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayh, Imam Zufar rahmatullah alayh. These people, these fuqaha, they were in the same principles with Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayh, but a few places they differed from his opinions. Then the jurists came on later on, they're called Mujtahid fil Masail, like Tahawi rahmatullah alayh, Halwani rahmatullah alayh, Karkhi rahmatullah alayh. These people, these jurists, their principles were the same, but in some masail, in some rulings, they differed. Then after that, but there was no ijtihad, but there were ashab. They're called ashab al-takhrij. These people, the usul, the principles, and the rulings, so they derived a few rulings based on the previous rulings and principles, like Imam Razi rahmatullah alayh. Then after that, they're called Ashabu Tarjih. There are 2 different opinions within the school, and they will say, this opinion, this ruling is preferred. That they are called Ashabu Tarjih, like Imam Quduri rahmatullah alayh, Imam Hidayah, the author of Imam Sahibul Hidayah rahmatullah alayh. So there are those people. They're called Ashabu Tarjih. Then after that, then they were Ashabu Tamyiz. These people, they differentiated between the 2 opinions. For example, Sahib Kanz and Mukhtar rahimahullah. Then after that, everybody else were naqil, and they just transmitted. Now so they just transmitted the previous opinions and they passed on. That's it. So much so, Allama Shami rahmatullah alayh, whose fatawa are at the table of every mufti, even he's also included in this category, that he was only transmitting. Now you can think you can think about that how high were that fuqaha. That Allama Shami rahmatullah alayh is only the one who's transmitting and not doing anything else. Now the people who are muftis now, they don't have to do ijtihad now. That ijtihad has been done. Now they only have to tell. For example, a person, he has to make a house. So the contractor made a beautiful house and gave it to him. So everything is complete. So the person, when he comes in, what will he do? He cannot do anything because everything has been done. Just like that, the building of the fiqh, it has been established by our fuqaha in a way that now, so we don't need to do ijtihad in that through internet. Some people, they say that previous people did ijtihad, why can't we do that? They don't know what does it mean to compile fiqh. That's why they say it. And the interesting thing is that this internet, who follow it, there are many people who follow it. In previous times, there were 4 imams: Imam Hanifa rahmatullah alayh, Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayh, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal rahmatullah alayh, Imam Malik rahmatullah alayh. Today we have a new imam. He's called Imam Google. So any question that you ask, I've searched it through Google. Yes, subhan. So I've searched for a masala ruling through Google. So they don't understand deen. So this ijtihad is not like a children's play. It is a gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to those people who had taqwa and righteousness in their personalities, and their personalities were just like Shariat and they knew what Shariat wants. That's why when people asked them, they gave the answers. Sahaba Kabirin, in that time, they will think about the questions themselves and then they will answer as well. So Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayhi was asked that the rulings that they're not even questions. So you're just thinking about questions and then you come up with answers. So he said, let's see, then when there is fire, then there is no point digging wells. We have to come up with water before. When there is fire, then you don't have to dig wells. You have to dig wells earlier so that if fire comes, then you can take water out and use. So that's why they did it. So they are the ones who have done a lot of favors on us. It's our responsibility that wherever we make dua for ourselves, our families, etc., we should also make dua for Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi and all the fuqaha that have come in the chain every day. So they have done so many favors on us. If these people had not done this, how we could have followed Shariat? They made it so easy for us. They have cooked the dish, all what we do is eat. But whoever does not follow them, then on the day of judgment there will be 2 questions asked. Number 1, that how did you cook the dish? This is the first question, they'll be caught, that you did not come up with the right answer. The only question will be asked from us, that did you act? Yes. How? Because our elders told us that, that's why we did it, so we'll be freed. So we just follow. We are the beggars. So we are just followers. People think it's bad, we think it's good. Alhamdulillah. So it's we had to go to a city. There was a big city. And where the program was, he used to live in the center of the city. It was very difficult to reach there. So he gave his address and all the directions, and he gave it to everybody, that whoever has to come to my house, this is how you go. He said, our companion, it took us, I asked him that how will we reach? So he said he has given me directions. So Hazrat said, don't depend on the directions too much. Also ask him that when we will be outside the city, the one person should be sent outside, and then he can lead us to his city, to his home. So we don't have enough time, and if we get lost, it will be very difficult, then it will be difficult to do the bayan. So then he called that person that we are here at this toll tax, and when I will reach that toll tax, then you send a person and he can guide us and take us to your home. So that's how it happened. So we're 9 and 10 people. Everybody has directions. It's that we reached on time and they gave the talk. But some of them, they came a little late. Some people got very late. Some people could not come at all. And the person of the house, he was an outside country, so he used to say, I don't believe. There's some people who say, I don't want to believe in it. So he came and he said that, some people, they could not reach to the talk. So Hazrat said to that person, because we become a pallet, so we could reach on time, and these people who did not follow, they could not come. Then he understood that what is taqleed, yani what is blind following. Did you understand what I said? So people who have ilm, who have knowledge, to have trust in their knowledge and just to go behind them, this is taqleed, the blind following, this part. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيْهِ, that person who has connected to me, you follow him. That is the hukam, that's the order, that's it. It's a fard, it's mandatory. It is mandatory on us that we just follow those people who have connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we just go behind them. That's it. That's a different story, that there is a taqleed shaksi, that the blind following one person. That is wajib. There were some Sahaba who would just act on the qawl, on the opinion of one alim. Sayyidina Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, for example, his fatwa will be in one city, in another cities there will be fatwa of different Sahaba. Initially, when the fuqaha jurists came up with all of these masail, initially all the muftis and the qadis, they would do the blind following, but they will not follow one person. They will follow somebody's on one person's fatwa and sometime at some other person's fatwa, and it happened like for 100 or 200 years. But then there was an issue that came in the middle, and that was that the qadi was appointed by the king. So when the king saw that this person, he will listen to me, so I will make him the qadi. So they started appointing people that they liked, and they made them the qadi, the judge. Now these qadis, these judge, and they were the people who they liked. So a case came that was against that was the person who the king did not like. So the king said to the qadi to give the ruling against him. So he looked into all of the aqwal of different imams, and the one that was the hardest, he took that qawl and gave the fatwa based on that. And if the case came that the king liked, and then he will look into everybody's fatwa, and the school which had the most lenient opinion, he gave fatwa based on that. So the people, the imams of those times, they looked into it and they saw that the king was appointing the qadi, king was appointing the judge, and now the qadis are not giving the judgment according to the shariat. So after that they said that all the qadis will only follow will only give fatwa based on one imam. He cannot give fatwa on different schools. So ulama, they did ijma, they gathered on this opinion that nobody can follow different schools. So now nobody can make fun of in the deen. Otherwise people would just make fun of it and they will just give opinion based on whatever they felt like. So Shariat was protected like that. So today, a person can do this, that I would do the taqleed of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi or Imam Shafi'i, or whatever school is in your area, you just follow that school. That is better. Otherwise it will be very difficult that if you're following a school by yourself in a city, then who will you ask? But initially you have a choice that which school do you want to choose, but then after that you'll have to follow the same school. So that's why the young people, when they come up with the answers from internet, so they're all misguided. The majority of them are misguided. And they're also confused that what should I do, this or that. And they don't have any knowledge of deen. And without studying deen, they start doing ijtihad on the deen. Once in America, there was somebody invited for a meal. There was a PhD doctor. He came and he sat next. During the meal, there was time for prayers. There was some ruling regarding the prayers. So Hazrat said that according to Ahnaf, the prayer has entered, so we can pray. So he said, this PhD doctor said, the way the Imam Hanifa was intelligent, I am also the same intelligent. I have the same intelligence. He was PhD. So he said that I listened to what he was saying. So after some time, so Hazrat asked that man, can you tell that when a person prays, that how much is the least Quran that we should recite in a prayer, in a one rakah? 1 word, 5 words. How much should we recite Quran in the prayer that the prayer is completed? So this PhD doctor said, I don't know. He said, you don't know this, that how much amount of recitation of Quran should we do in the prayer, and you are saying that I'm as intelligent as Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi. Then he understood that how ignorant am I. It's very difficult to understand that how ignorant am I. Otherwise everybody thinks that I'm an alim. So this thought has to be cleared. Its thought has to be pure. When it becomes pure, then it becomes the source of the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So today's words of wisdom. So he said this words of wisdom is that the journey of the heart is to just reflect on the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't just reflect on the creation, don't reflect on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you put this scale of a goldsmith, if you put a Himalaya mountain, how can you weigh it? Right? It's a small little thing that you weigh on the scale of goldsmith. The Himalaya mountain is such huge, so how can you weigh a mountain on the scale of a goldsmith? Just like that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so great that you cannot fit into our brains. It is beyond our intellect. So that's why we should not reflect on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but rather we have to reflect on the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why once you reflect on the creation, this is a sign of the people of intellect, ulul albab. It is written in the books that one person, he looked at the skies and he saw all of these stars shining. He was very amazed. So he said, Rabbana ma khalaqta hadha batila subhanaka faqina adhab an-nar. So just reciting this ayat, Allah Ta'ala forgave all of his previous sins because he understood that how big is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how huge is Allah. So the filth of the thought is purified by dhikr. So if we do a lot of dhikr, then the thoughts are cleared, and once it is done, that it will help us in having the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shaykh Tauqeer rahmatullah alayhi says, if Allah Ta'ala gives thoughts, fikr to a person that he can reach to his goal, then he is an arif. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. The people of intellect, they reflect on the heavens and the earth, in the creation of the heavens and the earth. And these people are intelligent. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his ummah, in the ummah of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have to reflect on all of the creation. There's a hadith. Quraysh came to Yahud, the Jews, and they asked them a question that Musa alayhi salam, what signs did he have? So they said, stick and the shining hand. That he would put his hand in his armpit and come shining. And they came to the Christians, they asked the questions, what is the quality of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam? They said that he would cure the blind and the lepers, and he would make the dead alive. Allah Ta'ala had given him this miracle. Then he came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked, to make dua for us that this Safa mountain, that Allah Ta'ala make it a mountain of gold. So the Quraysh asked the Prophet ﷺ that. So Prophet ﷺ asked Allah Ta'ala, he made a dua to Allah Ta'ala. These ayat got revealed, إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. As if the coming of this ayat is a proof that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made all of the creation as a place of reflection. So we don't even, the signs are not only on a stick or in a hand. All of the creation is the place of our fikr, or for this ummah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, will soon show them the signs in the outward, in the afaq, and in the anfus, in the inside. So I'll show them the signs outside and inside, so much so that the truth will open in front of them. And if then they don't understand the truth, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that I will just gather the whole world. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has opened the signs so much. Every other day, every fourth day, science, it will disprove a thing of Sharia. But the thing was proven so many years ago, science has also proved that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah Ta'ala is showing us His signs. Then it is said that the reflection is the best ibadat, best worship. Umar bin Abdul Aziz rahmatullahi alayhi would say that reflection is from the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's the best form of worship. Abdullah rahmatullah alayhi says that I asked that what was the best worship of Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, yani what was the best thing that he used to do. So Darda radiallahu ta'ala anha, she said that tafakkur, reflection, so he would reflect on the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so in his life, if you read his life history, looks like that he had a mizaj of Naqshbandi, because he would just keep quiet and just reflect on the creation of the heaven and the earth. Hasan rahmatullah alayhi says that the best action is taqwa and reflection in the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Qada Abul Hasan Faqani rahmatullah alayhi says that in Bani Israel there were two people. One of them was in prostration in sajda for 1 year, and the other would be in sajda for 2 years. But in this ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one moment of fikr, one moment of reflection is better than their 1 year or 2 years of worship. And one moment of reflection in the creation of the heaven and the earth, it is better than their hundreds of years of worship. That's why there's a quotation that one moment of reflection is better than worship of the whole night. And at one place it's written that reflection is better than 70 years of worship. One moment of reflection is better than 70 years of worship. Sayyidina Luqman alayhi salam said that the fikr reflection, it is something that of paradise. It's a path of paradise, and whoever does reflection, then it takes people to paradise. One Sahabi says that I heard it from Sahaba radiallahu anhum, the light of Iman is tafakkur, is reflection. Sufyan bin Uyayna, he says that when a person, his thought becomes pure, then there is a lesson in everything after that. That everything will take him to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It will guide him towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will get to know about the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why just know that in the science, if you want to know God, go in the details. If you want to get Allah, then go into the detail of everything. When you go into the detail of everything, then your heart will say that it is Allah who has created that thing. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, he said, seek help in your speech through silence. Can you be quiet, first think, and then speak. And then to come up with rulings, seek help through reflection. Imam Shafi rahmatullah alayhi, he said that I was in Mina, and I knew that there's one alim in Medina Munawwara, Imam Malik rahmatullah alayhi, who was a big muhaddith, big faqih. So he said, I had this desire that I go and see him, but he said I did not have means. So in Mina, there was an old man that I met, and he saw me and he said, okay, will you accept my invitation? So Imam Shafi said, sure. And all the food that he had in his bag, he put it on the floor, and he said, I started eating. So that old man looked at me and said that, oh young man, you're from Quraysh. He said, yes, how do you know? So he said, these Qurayshis, they accept the invitation and they also eat without hesitation. Then he started talking to me. And during that talk, he said that I have come from Medina Munawwara. So Imam Shafi Rahmatullah Alayhi said that I have this thought in my heart that was bothering me, that I will ask about Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alayhi. So he said, do you know Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alayhi? He said, yes. He said, do you want to meet with him? He said, yes. So this person said that when we were coming for Hajj, there was one person who has died and now his ride is going to go back empty. So I offer you that ride so you can come with us to Medina Munawwara. So Imam Shafi Rahmatullah Alayhi said that, it was an opportunity, so I took that journey to Medina Munawwara. So he says, he said it took us 16 days to go from Makkah Mukarramah to Medina Munawwara and recite the Quran 16 times in 16 days. During that journey from Makkah Mukarramah to Medina Munawwara. So this is how much love of Quran he had in his heart. So he said, so when I reached Masjid Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when I saw that it's time for prayers, and right after the prayers, some people, they start gathering at one place. And one man who was tall, he was sitting and he started saying, Qala Qala Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So he said, I understood he is Imam Malik Rahmatullah. So in those days, Imam Malik was dictating the hadith to his students. So student would recite and the teacher would recite and the students would write. So Imam Malik Rahmatullah was dictating and everybody has a pen and a paper and all the students were writing. So Imam Shafi Rahmatullah says, when I saw everybody that they are writing hadith, I also had the desire that I should also write. So I should also take it from Imam Malik, but I did not have paper and pen. Suddenly, I looked at, there was a straw in front of me. I held that straw, and in my imagination, I take it as a pen, and I took my palm as the paper, and I started writing in my imagination through that straw on the hand, so that I can resemble these students. So everybody's writing, I'm also writing. So then he said, after some time, I will just put that straw on my lip, as if it's ink, and then I will write. So Imam Malik saw me. So this young man is writing with the straw on his hand. So after some time, when it was time for the next prayer, Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alayhi, he stopped dictating the hadith, and the students, they went for wudu. He said, I had wudu, I stayed there. But Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alayhi, he saw me that he is there, he called me, and he asked me, oh young man, what were you doing? So he said, what the hadith that you were dictating, I was writing. He said, show me your hand. And he saw the hand, there was nothing. So he said, what were you doing? This is against the adab, this is against the etiquette of hadith. So he said that, Imam Malik, I'm a traveler, I don't have paper, I don't have pen, I just wanted to resemble the students. So I took that straw and took it as a pen, and I took my palm as a paper, and I was writing on the hand, but in reality I was writing it on my heart. So all of these ahadith that you have dictated, they're all written on my heart. Imam Malik Rahmatullah said, alright, if that is the case, then recite to me all of these ahadith back to me, and if you recite me half of those, I will take you as intelligent man. So Imam Shafi Rahmatullah says that all of those ahadith that Imam Malik Rahmatullah dictated, from the start to the end, I recited back all of them. So these were the students that the teachers would recite and they would write it on their hearts. So when Imam Shafi recited all of these ahadith, Imam Malik Rahmatullah he developed that love in his heart for me. He said, "Oh young man, Allah Ta'ala has given you a lot of intelligence. You are a righteous man, you are a person of taqwa." Then Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alayhi said, "Where will you go?" He said, "I don't know anybody." Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alayhi said, "Come to my house. You can be my guest." Imam Shafi Rahmatullah Alayhi said he went to his Imam Malik's house. Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alayhi had two daughters and both were alimas. And when Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alayhi would dictate hadith, he would teach hadith, there would be a curtain and they would sit behind the curtain. And if the person, one of the students will make mistake in an ibarat, in a phrase, then these alimat, the daughters of Imam Malik, will figure that out, will find out, and without saying, they will just make a noise, like some sort of sound, and Imam Malik Rahmatullah Alayhi, through their sound, will know that, oh, the students make a mistake. So they were so good, bright students, the daughters. So Imam Malik Rahmatullah told the daughters that a young man has come and he has such a strong memory that he memorized all the hadiths that I was teaching. So these daughters, they made food. So on the night, Imam Shafi Rahmatullah was given food. Imam Shafi Rahmatullah ate all of the food. Nothing remained. Now it was time for sleeping, so the bed was made. So the daughters, they put some water for wudu, so that he will get up at night and he will have to make wudu. So the water should be there to make wudu, because he will have to get up for tahajjud. So when Imam Shafi Rahmatullah came for Fajr in the masjid, so Imam Malik Rahmatullah said that, my daughters are very worried that I praise you, and my daughters are saying, what sort of wali is that? That all the food that was given, he ate all of that, he didn't leave anything. And this is not a sign of awliya. And the second, that we put water for wudu, that he will get it for tahajjud, and he did not even touch the water. So that means that he prayed Fajr without wudu. So Shafi Rahmatullah said that, that the food that was presented, it was so halal that when I ate one morsel, I felt the light of that in my heart. So I wanted all of that nur to come into my heart, so I ate all of it. Then he said, there's so much barakat in that food, and when I tried to lie down on the bed, then I thought about a hadith. So the brother of Sayyidina Anas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he had a small bird that passed away. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he would see that bird, he would say, "Ya Aba Umair, ma fa'al al-nughair." Oh Abu Umair, what did the bird do to you? So he said that I was reflecting on that hadith while lying on the bed. That can you call another person with the kunya? So, and you can deal with the children in such a way. He said, I was lying on the bed, but I did not sleep the whole night. So he said, I came up with 25 rulings from that one hadith. There's a few words, Ya Aba Umair, ma fa'al al-nughair. There's few words, and I came up with 25 rulings from that one hadith. This is reflection. So all night he didn't sleep, and he was just reflecting on that hadith, and he came up with all of these rulings. And then he said, Hazrat, because I did not sleep at all, so my wudu of Isha, it remained. I did not have to renew my wudu, and I prayed Fajr with the same wudu. This is reflection that brings people close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayhi, it's written about him that a man slept with him in his room, and that man said that I saw Imam Muhammad rahmatullah alayhi, that he had a few papers, like a few notes. He would open one and he would read, and after reading he would turn off the light and he would lie down. And after some time he would get up again, he would turn on the light again he would read something, and again would lie down and turn off the light. All night it happened like that. In the morning I asked that what sort of sleep was that? After every few minutes he'll get up, turn on the light, you will read something and then you will turn it off. Imam Muhammad Rahmatullah said that these notes that were on the paper, I would read them and then I would turn off the lights. Then I would reflect on that. I did not sleep the whole night. This is fuqaha. These are that Allah Ta'ala gave them such a thought that they would reflect on every single ayat and they will come up with more than 100 rulings from one ayat. So there is an ayah of the Quran in which it mentions about wudu. In that one ayat, fuqaha have come up with 125 rulings from that one ayat. This is that reflection that brings people close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But how can this reflection, does that become sound? By doing zikr. If there is no zikr, then this reflection can distract people, that can misguide people. The reflection will be true when people have done a lot of zikr. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first mentions zikr and then He talks about fikr. It's written, the fikr is the lamp of the heart. If it will not remain, then the light of the heart will go. Junaid Rahmatullah Alayhi said, the best gathering in the dunya is in which when a person reflects on the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the best gathering. Ka'b radiyallahu ta'ala anhu says that whoever wants honor in the akhirat, he should reflect on the creation of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today, because our thoughts are dirty, filthy, so we think, and all what we think about is sins. The nafsani thoughts. It's a proof that our thoughts are dirty. We have to purify it with dhikr, and then through dhikr, then in our fikr, in our thought, then we will think about the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it will connect us to Allah. Hasan radiyallahu ta'ala rahmatullahi would say that the fikr is a mirror through which you can see your own goods and your own evils. Then he said, there are 6 advantages of fikr, of reflection. Number 1, fikr connects people to Allah and he gets the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number 2, people get shara sadr, the heart opens through it, through reflection. This is a blessing. Shara sadr is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When people get that, then there are no doubts in Sharia. There are no doubts that remain in the hearts of the people in Sharia. The heart just opens up for Sharia. Shah Waliullah Muhaddidin Rahmatullah alayhi, his elder son, who was his representative as well, once he was in his madrasa, in his school, one Westerner came and he had his small son with him as well, and he said, so what do you do? What do you do? What do you teach your kids in the madrasa? Teach them science, mathematics, geography, then their thought will become open, broad. So these subjects are not taught in your madrasa, so your kids, their thought is not broad. Just look at my son. I'm teaching him science, and his thought is so broad. Shaykh Abdul Aziz Rahmatullah alayhi, he called that son, that Westerners, and he asked him, so what is this in the front? He says, pawn. It's a pond of water. He said, how many bowls of water are in this pond? Now this kid is amazed. How can he tell? He said, I don't know how many bowls of water in that pond. So Shaykh Abdul Aziz Rahmatullah alayhi, he called another son of the same age who was studying in that madrasa. He called him. They study logic, mantak. They're very intelligent. He asked him the same question. What is this? He said, pond of water. He said, how many bowls of water in this? He said, if the bowl is equivalent to the pond, then it's one bowl. If it is half, then it's two bowls. So when the reflection, when the heart becomes pure, then when the thoughts are pure, then people get the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we should do a lot of dhikr and purify our fikr. And with that pure fikr, we should get the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the tarteeb, this is the sequence of our suluk. So first few lataif, we do a lot of zikr, then the thought becomes pure, and after 10, all of the asbaq, the lessons are of fikr, and through that we get the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make dua that Allah ta'ala give us tawfiq of the abundance of zikr, and may Allah ta'ala gives the soundness to our fikr. May Allah ta'ala purify it. Ameen. Allah ta'ala purify our nafs. Allama Iqbal has said, he said about the disbelievers that their insides are not pure. So when the inside is not pure, then the thought is impure and takes away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when the inside is pure, it makes you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah ta'ala give us the sound intellect. May Allah ta'ala give us a sound heart. And may Allah ta'ala give us all of His ma'rifat. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Alhamdulillah, make dua inshallah. Ya Allah, please ignore our sins. Ya Allah, please hide our faults. Ya Allah, please make us the one who do a lot of zikr. Ya Allah, please enlighten our hearts. Ya Allah, please, Ya Allah, enlighten all of our lataif. Ya Allah, please give us tawfiq to do dhikr on every lesson. Ya Allah, please give us your ma'rifat. Ya Allah, please also write our name in the list of those who got in your ma'rifat. Ya Allah, please look at us with mercy. Ya Allah, all what we have asked, please give us what we should have asked, we did not ask, please give us that as well. Ya Allah, all these people are here. Ya Allah, they all have come to seek your love. Please, Ya Allah, fill our hearts with your love. Ya Allah, please fill these hearts with your love, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, please give us a taste of your love. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.